Are you ready for the final session for today? Yes. So the session title is Inside Flutter Text and will be presented by Kakeru Nakabachi. So please give a big round of applause to him.
Hello. My name is Kakeru Nakabachi. Today I'd like to talk about Inside Flutter Text. My name is Kakeru Nakabachi. I'm a mobile application engineer working for Cyber Agent and developer of WinTicket app. First of all, let me briefly introduce the service we are developing. We are developing an application called WinTicket, which makes it possible to bet for bicycle races and other races. This service is only available in Japan, but it's a large-scale application with various functions to charge money for betting and to watch race videos. This is today's agenda. I will introduce you about the basics of the text and about the surrounding knowledge and tips as much as possible. First, let me tell you about the importance of text. The text widget is probably widget used most often when developing apps with Flutter. It's a basic widget for displaying information to the user and can be easily customized in a variety of ways, such as changing colors and fonts. The service we are developing, WinTicket, is only available in Japan, so most of the text is in Japanese. As shown in the screenshot, all the places appeared in red area where text widgets are used. It's used a lot of places, and I believe this is also true for many other apps and services around the world. As you can see, the text is a widget that we use a lot in our Flutter app development. Understanding text and learning how to use it properly will have a big impact on the apps we develop. I hope that my session will help you become familiar with the text widget and learn how to use it properly. Next, I'll talk briefly about text and rich text. Let's start with the easy part. Text is a widget that everyone has used before. Just by setting a string in the text widget like this, you can draw text in your application. In addition, there is a parameter called style that allows you to change the color, font weight, and various other customizations easily using the text style object. I'm sure you use it often. Then, what should we do if we want to decorate the text in more complex manner? Flutter also has another widget called rich text. I'm sure many of you have used it before. In many cases, text is enough, but rich text is useful when you want to customize your strings in more detail. Rich text is used when you want to combine multiple text styles. This is useful when you want to change only the part you want to highlight to bold or change the color of the text. It's also possible to set the gesture recognizer to set underline decoration only on a part of the text and make it tappable like a text link. These are how the rich text widget enables flexible text display that is not possible with text alone. So, why does rich text allow such a flexible display, but text does not? Let's take a look at the internal implementation of text. Let's look at the source code in the Flutter SDK to see how text is implemented. This is a partial code summary, but you can see that the build method of the text widget returns a rich text. From this, we can see that text is rich text and text widget is rich text wrapper that makes rich text simple to use. We now know that text widget and rich text widget are not completely different widgets. The text widget also has a constructor named text.reach. This is a constructor for building a text widget with inline span. The official documentation says see rich text which provides a low-level way to draw text. Text.reach can be used to construct a text widget with inline span, so it can do the same thing as rich text. If you run these two codes, you can draw the same text with the same look and behavior. The usage is almost the same. The two widgets can be confusing to use, but the main difference is whether or not they have a default text style. The text widget uses the default text style.of method to get the nearest default text style from the current context and apply it. So if you use the text.reach constructor, you can apply the most recent text style. But this text cannot apply a text style from the default text style. Next, let's talk about text style and start style. As briefly discussed in the previous section, text style can be used to customize and decorate text widget. Change the font weight to bold or change the font size to make the text larger. All of which can be easily changed by the developer. The most common way to set the text style is to set the text style to the style property of the text. But the default text style widget can be used to apply the same text style to all child text widgets. This is useful if you want to use the same text style repeatedly on multiple texts. If the text style is nested, the text style most closely defined is in use. This is because, as explained before, the implementation in the text widget uses default text style.of to get and use the closest text style from the given context. Also, it's not often used. Text style has a property to ignore the parent text style. The property inherit of text style is true by default, but you can set it to false. In this example, the middle text of the three text style is set. The green italic font style in the default text style is ignored and the default white text style defined in the Flutter SDK is applied. What kind of problem might occur if the text style is not set? Has anyone else seen this when displaying text in Flutter? I've experienced this when I create a page and forgot to wrap it with scaffold. This means that the default text style could not be found. In fact, the text style error text style defined in app.dart in the Flutter SDK is set to display this. If we debug print default text style .of context.style in the build method whether this display happens, we can see the result like this. You can see that we are getting the text style that was set in error text style before. This can be resolved by wrapping it in scaffold, or you can fix it by setting the text style yourself. Why is that? That's because scaffold uses material widget, and in the material widget the default text style is set. When you set the inherit property to false, it means that this text style is used. If you are interested in the yellow underline text, please check out the video on YouTube for an easy to understand explanation. Text style has an important property called height. in addition to the decoration that changes size and color. This property is used to change the height of lines, which by default are laid out at the height defined by the font. The value set for the height property is the ratio of font size. For example, as shown in the figure on the right, if the font size is 50 and the height is set to 1.0 for text style, the line height will be 50 pixels, which is 50 times 1.0. In the same way, setting height 2.0 makes the line height 100 pixels, which is 50 times 2.0. As you can see at the top of the figure, null is the default line height defined the font. So the behavior is different from 1.0 is set. In addition to text style, text also has property called strut style that can control line height. This is property for setting the minimum vertical layout matrix. So like text style, strut style also has font size property, but setting the font size of strut style does not actually make the size of the displayed text larger. It's only used for vertical layout metrics, which are defined independently of text style. For example, if font size is 32 and height is 1.0, the line height will be 32 pixels. If we additionally set font size to 80 and height to 1.0 in strut style, the line height will be 80 pixels. In that case, the size of display text will remain at 32. In this way, strut style can be used to adjust the line height without changing the visual appearance. Next, let's talk about Flutter's text typography. Flutter is a UI framework built on material design. The definition of material design's typography is summarized on this page. The official material design documentation defines type scale token as shown on the left. Flutter's text theme implements an interface for defining text style that like to it, as shown on the right. The typography in Flutter has factory constructors for both material 2 and material 3. When the use material 3 property in the theme data of the material app is set to true, the constructor named material 2021 is used, which represents material 3. For English displays, the English-like style is used, while dense is defined to be used for languages like Chinese, Korean, and Japanese. Let's check the definition of text theme in English like in Flutter's material 3 to be more specific. If you look at the definition of text display large, you will see that the font size and font weight are implemented in the same way as in the material design definition. In this way, material design's typography is implemented in Flutter. Finally, let's talk about the issue when displaying Japanese in text. These are two major issues when displaying Japanese in text. The first is the height differs between Android and iOS. The second is the text appears lower on Android. I will explain them in order. First, let's talk about the first issue. We will write a code like this and check it with the inspector tool. I'm using 32 font sizes and green text style for English and Japanese each. You can see that the English text English text is the same at 38 pixels, but the Japanese text is different at 46 pixels for Android and 48 pixels for iOS. The second issue is also open issue in the Flutter repository, still open since 2021. Not much discussion going on. It's easy to understand when the text is displayed in the outline button like this, but the Japanese button looks a little bit closer to the bottom of the text. The text style is the same for both. I wrapped the text widget with the colored box widget for better behavior. Try setting the property apply height to first ascent and apply height to last descent to false. This will change the height of the text in the case of iOS and improve the looks of the text. However, this setting will not apply to Android because the font used is different. Changing to a font to which the Flutter setting can be applied is one solution to this problem. I will talk about the conclusion of this session at the end. First of all, I introduce the text is rich text. Next, we show that understanding text style and slash style allows you for flexibility in displaying text. Yellow underlined text is a display to which no text style is applied. Finally, introduce the issue of Japanese language support in Flutter. Thank you for attention.
Thank you so much for your insightful session. So we have a few minutes. So if you have any questions now, you can ask him and raise your hand.
Thank you for the talk. I have a quick question about the strut style. When do you use it? I can't think of a case where it is useful.
Oh, I have no idea. I still not use it before. Maybe developer show text, multi-line text. Such style is useful, I think.
So if it's a lot of text, or
text a lot of multiple text, single line, not single line.
okay, but multiple lines. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you.
Any more questions? So this is our last session for today, but we'll have Ask the Speaker corner as well after the closing for 20 minutes or so. So please visit him if you have any discussion more. Yeah, thank you. So please give me an applause to you. Yeah, thank you.